See, you posted Dr. Malachi York on your
Yes,
Instagram.
sir.
What's your thoughts? Because he's real controversial. A lot of people say he did some crazy shit.
Yeah,
I
so let's go over the crazy shit. Since we
Yeah.
dealing with the slander of the
Yeah.
leadership,
Mhm.
this why we ain't got no effective leaders, because we got too many people criticizing with no facts. So they accuse him of touching these kids. So they say they're going to link him to all of the cases through a genetically traceable strain of herpes. The problem is that Malachi don't have herpes, never had herpes, and he's been going to the doctors for an annual visit, which included a full STD span since the 70s. So he only had herpes long enough to get a herpes to these kids, and then turned around and went to prison and got rid of the herpes. Since they've been testing him in there, he still don't got herpes. Make it make sense. If you don't understand the intricacies and the details, keep your mouth shut till you get the receipt. You can't have herpes for 3 years and don't got it no more. Or you can't have it only when the victims come up, but every time you go to the doctor, it's not there. Herpes is traceable. It's traceable by genetics. They use it to confirm sexual predators on a regular basis. So this in and of itself tell you he was falsely accused, let alone all of the accusers was paid emolument by the government to sell him out. So if you don't know the intricacies of the case, then you shouldn't speak on it. We always speak on something we don't know about. That's one of the problems that's keeping us divided, conquered, and subjugated.
Mhm.
Stop speaking on what you don't know about. Read the case. Read the case files. Read the rebuttal. They didn't have jurisdiction of original origin. They could have dismissed the case on jurisdiction alone, but they was determined to override the law in order to misapply the law. They had to bend the law to make it fit his case. They had to create a crime in order to accuse him of it. It's the same thing they did to Jeff Ford and Larry Hoover. They doing the crime. They accusing our leadership of the crime while they in the commission of the act. They doing it. They got caught. So they accusing them of being drug dealers. You can't get that quantity of drugs. If you're making more than a couple $1,000s, couple $100,000 selling drugs, you're working with the feds, knowingly or unknowingly. When somebody bringing tons of drugs over here, and you are responsible to try to hold your community together from behind bars, the best you can do is manage it. You can't stop it because you ain't out there to put the strategies in play, and the ones out here don't have the leadership capability, or else you wouldn't need motherfuckers to be oppressed in prison to keep the effectiveness from the community. They didn't kill Fred Hampton because his skin color alone. They killed him because how he was able to communicate across the skin color barrier, the religion barrier, and his ability to unite people. They was more scared of that, right, than they was of just him because he was one of us. That leadership, you got to stop letting them kill our leaders. All they leaders is pedophiles and blood drinkers. And we letting their leaders tear our leaders down using the media that they control. With court systems that they using to implement martial law on the land. They don't have what you call proper jurisdiction to begin with. Everything outside DC is under tribal rule, tribal law, the law of the land, oral tradition. Right? So when they imposing their written laws on us, they overstepping their jurisdiction, they overstepping their boundaries. But we so busy helping them to tear our leadership down, and then we wonder why don't nobody want to step up and help us. Right? We the baddest people on the planet. So busy tearing each other down that we can't even help ourselves. Right? Because we following the script that the enemy brought. Go back to your own culture Go back to your own ways, and then we won't be falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Right? H. Rap Brown, they had charged him, gave him life or so many years for shooting the police. If you watch the trial, pull his trial up on Court TV and watch that shit to tell me you can actually believe this man is guilty. Right? But what we do, they got his ass. Lucky it wasn't me. We laugh at the leaders that fall, but won't none of them, one that's doing all of the laughing, step up and do nothing about the condition. They talking about reparations. I'm telling them we got something bigger than reparations. That's pocket change. They got you focused on reparations so you won't never realize you don't need it if you get the imposters off the land. But they got us in fighting about reparations.